everyone, welcome to the daily news analysis of Next IAS. This is Varun. Today we will discuss 5 important articles from 2 newspapers, The Hindu and Indian Express. So first section will be regarding daily current affairs, that is prelim section, in which 4 articles. First is Gold Monetization Scheme, then we will discuss about control regimes, that is MECRs, and then about BHIM 3.0 and Sahyog Portal. After that we will discuss about MSMEs Criteria, which has been recently changed. Further, we will discuss in our main section editorial analysis. The editorial is regarding AI and UBI, that is Artificial Intelligence and Universal Basic Income. Now, let us discuss our first article regarding Gold Monetization Scheme. So, this article has come into the backdrop of the government has decided to discontinue medium-term and long-term deposits under Gold Monetization Scheme. So, the scheme completely has not been discontinued. Only 2 segments of this, that is medium-term and long term, has been discontinued. This article has been come into Indian Express newspaper. The highlight of the newspaper is the Gold Monetization Scheme to end for medium term, long term deposits. What is the relevance of this scheme? In our prelims examination, it can be asked in government scheme section. Now, what the news is about, let us try to understand. So, government has decided to discontinue medium term and long term deposits under Gold Monetization Scheme. Short term bank deposits by bank under this scheme will still be continued, and it is on the basis of discretion of individual banks. So the bank, if it is willing to provide at short term, then they can continue this. This is a second gold scheme. This was not first gold scheme, this was second gold scheme to face closure by the government in recent months. Government has also discontinued issuance of sovereign gold bonds. So that's why this is very important. Now let us try to understand what is Gold Monetization Scheme, a revamped version of an older gold deposit scheme. So this scheme already was running in some other form, but it was tweaked as per the demand of recent times. It was launched in November 2015 to make gold, idle gold, which was remaining with people. For example, Indian society is too much obsessed with gold, so that gold was remaining idle in their homes in form of it cannot be utilized. So government come up with the idea that we can bring those gold into economy and it can create further employment opportunities, further entrepreneurship opportunities by providing loan through that gold. What was the objective of Gold Monetization Scheme? Sell their golds or store it with banks so it could merge into the formal economy. Besides it, it will also help to reduce gold imports because, for example, if the person is going to monetize it and use it, then instead of going further to purchase new goods, they can monetize through it also. Let us try to understand some of the components of Gold Monetization Scheme, which can be asked in our prelims examination. Which of the following are component? So first is short-term bank deposit. So short-term, which still will be continued on the discretion of individual banks, it is regarding 1 to 3 years. Then medium term, it will be regarding 5 to 7 years. After that, there is long term government deposit, which is 12 to 15 years. So medium and long term component has been discontinued. Let us try to understand some of the further features of this scheme. So the gold bonds were issued as per this scheme in denomination of 5 gram, 10 gram, 50 grams and 100 grams. Beside it, for a term of 5 to 7 years, that was medium term was most preferred, and rate of interest to be calculated because it was monetization scheme and it will further provide over the period of time rate of interest, so calculated on the basis of the value of the metal at that time. For example, if someone is going for gold monetization in 2015, so the value of that time, whatever the existing price of gold will be, it will be the criteria for monetizing that thing. Annual cap of 500 grams per person was put up. Amount of interest rate payable for short-term deposits under the scheme is decided by the banks itself. So what happened? If there is short-term deposit, the individual banks has a discretion to set up what will be the interest rate they are going to pay. Medium and long-term deposits, rate of interest was decided by government in consultation with RBI, and it was borne by central government itself. Besides it, what was the eligibility criteria for this? So first thing is central government and state government both can make deposit. Okay, they itself can, because central government and state government also have some amount of gold, so they can also, or any other entity owned by the central government or state government, they can also come under the this monetization scheme. Beside it, resident Indians like individuals, HUF, that is Hindu United Families, they were also eligible. Trust and funds were also trusts including mutual funds, exchange traded funds which are registered under SEBI, they were also eligible for this scheme. There was some limit also like minimum and maximum. For minimum, it was one time is 10 grams of raw gold, that was minimum, and there was no maximum limit. There is also an important question whether a depositor avail a rupee loan against the collateral of rupees, whatever the gold they have deposited, whether they are able to take loan against that or not in form of money. Yes, rupee loans can be availed through this scheme. That was an additional feature. There were some facts regarding gold import. Let us try to understand those facts also. Like India is one of the top importers of gold in the world. It is almost second. Around $49 billion in the financial year 2023 to 24, India has imported $49 billion. Currently holds 879 tons of gold, which is 11.5% of its total foreign exchange reserves. India's annual gold imports remained around $. It is on an average, this is yearly, that is particularly regarding 2023 to 24, it was $49. On an average, it is importing $37 billion of worth of gold. So let us try to understand which type of question can be asked on this particular topic where you should look into. Which of the following is or are the purpose or purposes of the government sovereign gold bond scheme and gold monetization scheme 2016? It already has been asked that the moment this scheme was announced. To bring the idle gold lying with Indian households into the economy, to promote FDI in the gold and jewelry sector, to reduce India's dependence on gold import. Select the correct answer using your correct code given below. So this is our humble request. Kindly mark your answer, your peers will review. Now let us discuss our second article, which is regarding 4 export control regime. So the backdrop of this article is the International Atomic Energy Agency DG, that is Director General, has given an interview, and in that interview he stated that he does not see the logic of India being in 3 export regimes but not in 4, particularly NSG, that is Nuclear Supplier Group, given India's role in the global nuclear industry. We can see the headline is also don't see logic in having India in 3 export control regimes and not in NSG. What is the relevance of this article? International relations section. In that section, this article can be asked in prelims examination itself. So let us try to understand what news is. So in 2023, the DG has said, I presented at the UN Security Council a number of principles that should be observed in order to avoid a nuclear accident. And in that regard, IAEA was accepted as monitoring the observance of this point. India is a global player. This is also stated by the DG in the nuclear industry and is one of the most important countries. We need to work with India. Besides it, he has also stated that it was always a logical thing to have India and other countries which has an active nuclear industry, civil nuclear industry, and that can be part of the supply chain or exporters or importers, be part of the effort. I don't see the logic of India having in 3 export control regimes and not in the 4. So this is important context and background in which we are going to study about the 4 export control regime, which can be asked in the prelims examination, their features or their whether India is part of which or not, in which year India became part or which year this is, how many members are there, what is the aim of those particular regimes. So let us start with about NSG, that is Nuclear Supplier Group. It was established in 1975. It comprised of 48 states. Right now it is 48 states and India is not a member. India is not part of this. Besides, what is the eligibility? So from the time guidelines may apply for an NSG membership. They have created a guidelines, the members through consensus, and that is required. It is voluntary agreement. It is not binding. It is voluntary. If you are a member of NSG, it is voluntary agreement. Members take the membership by consensus of all the members which are already there. Then there is Australia Group. It is again an informal arrangement. There is no formal government to government proper signing is not. It is again its aim is to allow exporting or trans-shipping countries to minimize the risk of assisting chemical and biological weapons. So it is particularly regarding chemical and biological weapon. NSG is regarding nuclear related NSG, and here it is regarding chemical and biological weapon. Informal arrangement with no legal binding obligation for participants. Again, we have to understand. So if it is not legally binding, what is the point? Yes, the morality, the being part of an elite group, and beside it, the members share a lot of information regarding these things. So these things are very important in this global arena. All decisions in the Australia group are made by consensus. Here also same with the NSG. All states participating in Australia group are parties to the Chemical Weapon Convention and Biological Weapon Convention. These two are important conventions, and all parties are part of that also. This itself can be asked as a statement in prelims examination. The number of participants has now expanded to 43. In NSG it was 48. Most recent countries, Mexico in 2013 and India in 2018. Then let us try to understand something about MTCR, that is third regime is Missile Technology Control Regime. So it is, from the name itself we are able to understand that it is regarding to missiles. Okay, so it is again informal understanding, informal political understanding among states that seek to limit the proliferation of missiles and missile technology. So this regime was created so that, for example, member countries, if they have decided that there should be a group which should look after, if some member have developed very advanced missile technology, it should not be proliferated to other rogue nations which can misuse it against humanity. So that's why this is very important. Then India got its membership in 2016. In NSG we have no membership. In Australia group it is in 2018, and in MTCR it was in 2016. Again, it is non-binding in nature. MTCR is not a treaty and does not impose a legal binding. Anything is not legally binding. Okay. Then let us try to understand about Wassenaar arrangement. So it has been established in order to contribute regional and international security and stability by promoting transparency and greater responsibility in transfer of conventional arms and dual use goods and technologies. The Wassenaar arrangement became operational in 1996 after the adoption of initial elements at the July 1996 plenary. There are 42 participating states and secretariat is located in Vienna. These are the some factual information, and again this is very important that it is for conventional goods and dual use goods. Conventional use and dual goods are important. You have to remember this fact, that which regime is for which type of goods. And all decisions again here are taken by consensus, and India is a member of Wassenaar arrangement also. So let us try to through a question, try to understand which type of question can be asked on this. In 2018 one question came, what is or are the consequences of a country becoming the member of the NSG? It will have access to the latest and most efficient nuclear technologies. It automatically becomes a member of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. So this is our humble request, kindly mark your answer and your PS will review. Now we have another article regarding BHIM 3.0 and Sahyog Portals. So these two article has come under the backdrop that it cannot be compelled to join the Sahyog Portal X tells to Delhi High Court. There is a case going on in Delhi High Court which has been filed by X platform, previously known as Twitter, and they have said that they cannot be compelled to join Sahyog Portal. And second article is BHIM 3.0 launched with option to track shared expenses, and this is again in regarding government schemes and portals which has been launched. This can itself be asked in the prelims examination. So let us try to understand about the Sahyog Portal. It establishes unified framework. It aims to create a unified framework to combat cyber crime. That is the basic purpose of Sahyog Portal. Further, it automates notice processes. So what happens? It streamlines the process of sending notices to intermediaries under IT Act 2000. So intermediaries are like social media platforms, like WhatsApp is there, like Facebook is there, that is known as Meta. So these are intermediaries. So what happens? It will help to automatically send notice if there is any violation under IT Act, that is Information Technology Act 2000. Beside it, this will happen in first phase. Further, in second phase, what will happen? Portal's functionality will be extended to also send information requests from law enforcement agencies. For example, if there is any law enforcement agency which has been working in India and they also want some information regarding this particular portal, they can also access it, and this operates under MHA. Sahyog Portal operates under MHA. This information itself can be asked in form of a multiple statement and prelims examination. Now, what is the concern of X? So, portal is seen as a censorship tool. X argued that Sahyog Portal falls outside the statutory scheme of Section 69A of the IT Act, because this Section 69A of the IT Act especially works or regulates intermediaries. So that's why X is saying that this does not come under Section 69, which empowers the government to order online platforms to block information in specific circumstances. This information itself can be asked in the prelims examination. You have to be aware about this. The portal would create a parallel mechanism to the existing mechanism under Section 69 of the IT Act, albeit without any procedure or safeguard. So the X platform is saying that this portal will become a parallel mechanism, and the problem with this is that it does not have check and balances. So it will create more opacity in its functioning, and these intermediaries can be threatened. There is a famous case related to Information Technology Act, and this completely changed the nature of what can be blogged or accessed on the internet. Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, it has Section 66A, and that was struck down and said unconstitutional by Honorable Supreme Court. So court held that the provision was violative of Article 19(1)(a) and did not satisfy the test of reasonable restrictions under Article 19(2), and that's why Section 66A, which was, if anything is there that can be blocked or accessed, was there, the provision was like this. So it was a very vague provision and very broader provision which was struck down by the Honorable Court. Now let us understand about BHIM 3.0. What is BHIM 3.0 and what has been some features? What is NPCI BHIM Services Limited? The question is, so it is just interface for money. The full form of BHIM itself is BHIM Interface for Money. When BHIM 3.0 will be functional? From April 2025. How it is different or what extra things it will prioritize? So it will prioritize safety, convenience and inclusion, three things. What additional new features has been brought up here? So users can split bills. Already earlier they were not being able. Some platforms are providing some, but BHIM was not. And BHIM is mostly, as we have written here, being done by, launched by NPCI. Okay. Onboard family members can be added. Then track shared expenses. For example, someone is going on a trip, they can track. Assign specific payments like monthly bill payment and electricity bill payment, various other things. These are the new features which has been added. Now let us try to understand some of the background of BHIM 1.0 and 2.0. So it was launched in December 2016 and it allows, what was the purpose? Real-time fund transfer, which we do through the UPI. So BHIM is also a UPI, okay, Unified Payment Interface. BHIM is a part of UPI. MIT has launched BHIM 2.0 in 2019, okay, and some additional features like earlier it was in some language it was already deployed. Further, more languages like Konkani, Bhojpuri and Haryanvi, in these languages it has also been deployed so that its efficiency and its reach to the people will increase. Other features were also at that time were done, like a donation gateway, linking multiple bank accounts, option of applying IPO, gifting money. These things were also done at that time. So it is continuous upgradation as per the demand of time. So these features should be in mind. The question can be framed in such a manner that these are the features which has recently been done with the BHIM app. Let us try to understand which type of question can be asked. This, like with reference to digital payment, consider the following statement. BHIM app allows the user to transfer money to anyone with a UPI enabled bank account. While a chip PIN debit card has 4 factors authentication, BHIM app has only 2 factors of authentication. So this question already has been asked. This is our humble request. Try to mark your answer in our comment section, your PSL review. Now let us discuss our next article, which is regarding new MSMEs criteria. This has come into the backdrop of government notifies revisions to investment turnover criteria for MSME. So what has happened during budget 2025 to 26, Honorable Finance Minister has announced that criteria for MSME sector will be changed as per the demand or as per the current situation. In that context, government has yesterday notified this criteria and upgraded it. So this article says that government notifies revision to investment turnover criteria for MSME. So one thing we have to remember that there are two criteria for MSMEs classification. One is regarding investment and another one is regarding turnover. So this news and this will be effective from April 1 itself. So the news says that investment and turnover limits for classification of all MSMEs to be enhanced to 2.5 and 2 times respectively. Now let us see what has happened, how the criteria has changed. In the table itself we can see that for micro enterprise the existing provision was, for example, 1 crore. So all the data here is in crores. Okay, earlier it was 1 crore, now it has been revised to 2.5 crore in investment. Similarly for small enterprises, if investment is, earlier it was 10, now it is 25 crore. Up to 25 crore it will be called as small. And if investment is, earlier it was 50 crore, it was called as medium enterprises. Now it has increased to 125 crore. Similarly regarding turnover, so what has happened, existing provision for small enterprises is 5 crore, now it has been increased to 10 crore. Similarly earlier it was 50 crore, now it has been increased to 100 crore for medium enterprise, for small enterprises, and for medium enterprises it has been increased from 250 to 500 crore. So these are the existing provisions which has been changed. Same thing is written here also. We can understand that it has been changed as per the demand of the MSME sector also, and also because the increasing size of Indian economy, this is also required, and government from time to time changes this. Now let us try to understand something about MSME sector. So MSME regulation in 2007, what has happened, Ministry of Small Scale Industries and Ministry of Agro and Rural Industries was merged to form MSME sector. MSME Act of 2006 was passed and it established a national board for MSME. It also defined the concept of enterprise. What is the meaning of enterprise was defined in that act itself. It also empowered central government to enhance MSME competitiveness. Beside it, MSME sector contribution in GDP is significant. It contributes about 30%, which is very significant portion of our GDP. It also provides employment to over 11 crore people are directly or indirectly employed in this sector. It also plays a huge role in export. 45% of all exports is being, merchandise sector is being done through MSME sector. There are some government initiatives also which you need to remember, that is regarding MSME sector, like Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is there, there is MSME Samadhan, there is Udyam Registration Portal, then there is Credit Guarantee Scheme, which already we have covered in one of our DNA analysis section, in which we have properly covered Credit Guarantee Scheme. You can watch that and understand it. Beside it, there is BHIM portal also. This is for procurement through MSME sector and government give priority to them. So let us try to understand which type of question can be asked on this particular topic. Consider the following statement with reference to India. According to government's notified revisions, the medium enterprise are MSMEs with investment up to rupees 125 crore, the turnover limit to rupees 500 crore. All bank loans to the MSME qualify under the priority sector. So this type of question can be asked in statement format based on the changes and based on the some other features. You should keep into those mind, and this is our humble request. Kindly mark your answer in our comment section, your PSL review. Now our next there is another article which has come into today's newspaper, India-China relations. So this article is about India-China discuss early resumptions of cooperation. This article has covered into both the Hindu and Indian Express, and we have done a very detailed analysis of India-China relations on 28 Jan 2025 in one of our episode of DNA. This is our humble request, kindly watch it, and it will help you a lot to understand India-China relations from the international relations perspective. We have another article regarding US tariffs. This article has also come into the newspaper. No reciprocal tariffs imposed by the US on India, says Center. We have already covered India-US tariff issue and tariffs war which has been going on in a very holistic, very detailed manner in one of the episode of 15 Feb 2025 of DNA. You must watch it. It will give you a very good insight about the topic. We have another article regarding Collegium and NJAC. This is very important for prelims also and mains also. Government opposing call for changing collegium system. This is being covered in both newspaper Indian Express and Hindu, and we have covered this in a very detailed manner about the topic appointment of Supreme Court judges on 7th March 2025 in one of the episode of DNA. So please watch this and understand, and also try to memorize all the facts regarding these things. This can directly itself be asked in this year's CSE 2025 prelims examination. We have another article in the newspaper regarding MGNREGS, that is row in Lok Sabha over government claim that Tamil Nadu gets more MGNREs fund that more than populous UP. So we have covered complete MGNREGS scheme in one of the episode of 3rd Feb 2025. It was a very detailed and explicit explanation of the article. You should understand the scheme, its features. This can be asked itself in a statement form question in prelims examination itself. Now we will discuss about our mains article, which is regarding analysis of editorial. So the article is regarding AI and UBI. This has come into the backdrop that Bill Gates has suggested AI will make the market driven model of work and income obsolete. This article has come into Indian Express newspaper in the form of editorial, and this is very much relevant for our mains examination in all of the GS paper as well as essay. It is important for AI and society. This can itself be asked. Beside it, in social justice also this can be asked. This is also related to AI and economy in the form of employment and how AI will create some moral dilemmas. So this is again, it is important. So we have to understand about this particular article in the context of our mains examination for all paper. Even we can use the information we are getting for our essay paper also. So this is very important article. Now let us through a PYQs try to understand which type of questions already has been asked on this particular topic, AI. So application of artificial intelligence as a dependable source of input for administrative rational decision making is a debatable issue. Critically examine the statement from the ethical point of view. Now what is the news is telling us about particularly? Let us try to understand the background in which Bill Gates has said something. So Bill Gates has offered his view regarding if carefully hedged AI vision of the future touching on artificial intelligence, climate change, philanthropy in a time of global flux. So he said that AI can be used for the purpose of climate change also. It can also help us to achieve something very good in philanthropic aspects also, like using AI and helping people to those who are not able to get something. This AI can target those things. That's why it is very important. Future of employment in AI dominated world, how it will happen. So he suggested that we might be heading toward a post labor world altogether. So what will happen, that there is no doubt that AI will replace human labor, but if AI is replacing human labor, what will be the future? How humans can adjust, how we can cope up with the problems which is going to emerge, because AI now has become inevitable. AI could eventually enable a form of economic support. How? That releases people from drudgery of traditional jobs like manual hard work which people are doing. AI can replace those things also, and people can become more creative and other things. Like it can, the market driven model of work and income might become obsolete. We cannot conceive of what that world will look like. So this statement has been given in this context. Beside it, people will be switched to more types of new jobs like arts, creativity, innovation, design, which is more about passion also, which is not only regarding daily you have a routine job, you are engaged in drudgery, so that will be replaced completely. Gates did not use the term universal basic income, nor did he offer detailed policy vision, but the talk was regarding whether the author of the article says whether AI and UBI can be clubbed or not. What will be the aspect? So let us try to understand about some of the AI developments which has happened as per the article, and then we will further discuss about AI and AI UBI. So AI revolution, first sweeping through the software stack nor the hardware layer. So it was basically happening in the software segment, still not happening in the hardware. Like particularly its application is language models, which we call famously as LLMs, that is language models, then coding agents, financial assistants, document processors, reshaping white collar workflows. So these are the some of the software models which has been being done through AI and not hardware. Beside it, the article has also compared AI with robotics. There is also a comparison how robotics faces constraints in materials, safety and physical dexterity, whereas AI is not related to these things because it is not working too much in hardware. Still has a robotics has a longer arc, but the maturity curve is steeper and is slower than pure software because it is related to hardware. There is also efficiency gains being done through AI. For example, if one wants to write a book or edit the book, earlier it used to take a lot of time for human. Now it can be very easily and in a quick manner be done through the use of AI. It increases efficiency across sectors and especially in services, because mostly service sector is dependent on software services. In material cost, in this world material needs don't vanish, but the price of fulfilling those drop drastically due to the AI revolution. For example, in agriculture sector, AI can reduce the input cost, and if the input cost is being reduced, input cost means targeted seeds, targeted, it can predict in which season, in which type of soil, which crop can grow more efficiently, more productivity, yield can increase, and that will reduce the price of agricultural commodities itself, and it will also increase production. This is a very one of the interesting line which has been written. This can be itself be used as a quote in means examination. Think of AI not as making us richer in cash but richer in access. It is not making only us rich in cash but also in access. Let us try to understand something about UBI. A UBI is a regular payment from the state or some entity to individuals irrespective of their employment. So UBI means universal basic income. There is no discrimination. Everyone who is citizen of a particular country or region, they all will be provided some particular amount of money at a particular period of time, irrespective of their working condition, whether they are employed or not employed. Radical and compelling paradigm shifting in thinking about both social justice and productive economy. So it basically changed the perspective of thinking that only those who work will get income. It also brought everyone under the umbrella of income. It has three components. First is universality, second is unconditionality, and third is agency. Universality means everyone who is the citizen of that country or region will get that. Similarly, unconditionality, whether you are working or not, whether you are having particular income bracket or not, nothing is there, everyone is given. Then agency means the individuals who are getting the money, they will decide where they want to expend that money. There is particular complete freedom regarding your choice to expend the money, to use that money for particular purpose. The particular individual has that particular agency. Now there are some other features like UBI income promotes many of the basic values of society and which respects all individuals as free and equal. That is very important. It basically democratizes, it basically gives actual meaning to humans by promoting freedom and equality. It provides flexibility in labor market. So what will happen if everyone is getting universal basic income, assured income, what will happen? For example, then the individual has choice whether to do particular task or not. Right now, maybe for example, there is a manual labor, he or she may be forced to do that particular job, not by choice but due to the condition. But if they are assured that this amount of money you are going to get, then there may be choice that I will not do this, I will do something else, I will learn some skill, and further after reskilling I can go for some higher wage job opportunities. Similarly, it promotes liberty. Liberty means individual freedom. It provides individual choices, agency, which we have already talked. Then it also promotes equality. Society needs equality also, because it provides a basic minimum income to everyone, so it will increase their standard of life itself. That's why it is very important. Then it also promotes efficiency. How it promotes efficiency? For example, as we have said, that for example, if someone is doing manual labor, now they have been assured a particular amount of income, they can reskill themselves and switch from that particular manual labor to a more skilled labor, and which will increase their productivity, increase overall efficiency of the economy itself and as well as the labor. Then let us try to understand about AI, artificial intelligence and UBI relation, as what the article itself is saying. Article has shown there has been some relation. Even Bill Gates has given some of his views regarding this. If AI and automation do most of the wealth creating, there is a philosophical and practical case for redistributing that wealth. So there has been various reports, various views and concerns that what will happen, those who are going to control AI will control all of the wealth generated through it, and AI will play a huge chunk of role in creation of wealth. So that's why it is needed that it should be redistributed among others who are not able to control the AI. AI-driven enterprises can be taxed for redistribution. Okay. Similarly, other ideas are also that how this can be made possible by include sovereign AI models. Sovereign AI models means, sovereign means those that being controlled by people itself. For example, in India, who is sovereign? People is sovereign. So countries could develop their own foundational models, and the revenue or income they are gaining from that can be redistributed among the masses. The royalty which they are getting, that can be redistributed among the citizens. Besides it, some radical proposals are also there, like public should be made partial owner of the models itself. So again, the revenue which is coming from it can be redistributed. The article is also has shown some impact of AI on society and economy, in particularly in the context of labor and universal basic income. So in a post-labor economy, income can't be tied to traditional jobs. Something else has to fill the gap, because traditional jobs already are losing its value. AI will replace those traditional jobs. That's why there will be some gap, and those gap can be filled through in the form of a idea is like universal basic income. Work is not just economic. So even in when someone reads sociology and Indian society, even economy, work has many aspects. It also provides identity. As identity, it also have consumes a particular amount of time of one person's life. It provides purpose. For example, a soldier serving in Indian army has a specific purpose. It gives meaning to his or her life. That's why work is not only related to economic criteria. If AI releases people from work, what will happen? Some may turn to art, care, science or spiritual pursuits. That is another option. Bill Gates is very optimistic about the AI and its impact on society. He says that current momentum in AI can be compared to personal computing revolution. As the computer came and it revolutionized industry 3.0, it transformed jobs. Similarly, this can also be done. Then Gates in contrast emphasize a more hopeful trajectory. As we have discussed, Gates is very optimistic regarding this. If access to powerful services become universal and nearly free, the result will be a net gain in the quality of life. So as per Bill Gates, if the services is being universalized, if the access to AI is being provided to all, what will happen? It will promote more freedom as well as equality in the society. Now, about India's role, the article says that Gates has particular views regarding India also. Gates has argued that India does not need to build its own foundational model. Right now, India does not have any foundational model regarding AI. For example, ChatGPT is there in US. Similarly, DeepSeek is with China, but right now India does not have. So what India should not rather go for doing everything from the scratch, rather become part of whatever already has developed, become part of that ecosystem. Tools of frontier AI are now accessible more than ever. So even if someone has not developed the foundational model, what will happen? All the existing models are available to everyone. That's why growing, how it is visible, growing number of open source models, wide availability of research paper, data sets, implementation guides, these are showing that there is accessibility of frontier technologies. Beside it, for India also, in Gates' view, these availability drastically narrows gap between countries like India and those leading in foundational model. So because these research paper, data sets, everything is available publicly in form of open source, that's why there is not that much gap. India may not be creating foundational models at a scale, but it can download it, adapt it, and fine tune it for its own existing needs. The lag is no longer structural or insurmountable. It is not a structural problem that India does not have this. Rather, it is more about access only. At worst, India is a few months behind or just a few days. This is the view of Bill Gates regarding India and development of AI. So in conclusion, what this article says, let us try to understand. Gates' comments also serve as a quite counterpoint to concerns about AI-driven inequality. From time to time, we only find those type of articles or those type of arguments which are negative from the perspective of AI. They create phobia regarding adaptation of AI and everything. Only challenges are there. This article is more about what are the positive things, what are the optimism a society can get, how the society can adapt, like in the form of universal basic income or not, so that there can be more freedom, there can be more democratization of things even with the development of AI. While the risk of wealth and power concentration among the AI elite remains real, the trend toward democratization is also accelerating. Open source movement plays a crucial role in this dynamic, and that's why even India does not have foundational model, it can access to it. The path forward is less about catching up and more about tuning in. So if the countries are very smart, they should not go into developing from the scratch, rather whatever is available they should tune it as per their requirement. For India, especially with many language sectors and societal challenges, this is not just a workaround, it may be a strategic advantage. India can leapfrog directly with use of AI. This view marks a subtle but important reframing of the global AI landscape, which is more about pessimism rather optimism. So this article has covered these dimensions regarding, we have discussed about what are the latest developments in AI, how it can relate with the universal basic income concept that can be a substitute even if some employment is lost, how it can benefit society. Then we have also talked about how or what is the impact or role of AI for India, and then what is the conclusion. Now let us, through a practice question, try to understand which type of question can come on this. Examine the concept of UBI in the light of impacts of AI on employment and overall labor market. This is a 250 words mark. So in introduction, we can mention about the comments of Bill Gates, that Bill Gates had recently in an interview said that AI can help to transform post labor market, and it can also provide redistribution of wealth by framing any particular idea like UBI. Then in body, we can mention about what is UBI, basic concept, and then in a very brief manner AI, how they are basically related, as we have discussed in article itself. You can write those points, and then some challenges which will be emerging because of this, and then a way forward or conclusion. In conclusion, we can mention various points which we have already discussed in this particular slide. So this is our humble request. Kindly write this answer and post in our comment section. Your PS will review. If you like our content, please follow us on social media, like the video, comment on the video, share it. Thank you.